Okay, so some people have been asking me how somehow I accomplish certain things in a certain amount of time. And many times, what it can seem like to a lot of entrepreneurs and business people is that time is difficult to manage, or some people seem like they get a lot more done in a certain amount of time, or seem like they're not getting as much done, but then have great impact when they do certain things. So I broke it down into an equation after kind of looking into this a little bit more and thinking about it a little bit more to make it have more sense for some of you that have been asking me about time management. So the effect of impact of your time and your effort can easily be measured. This is something that's a really common thing that a lot of entrepreneurs and business people know. Time multiplied by effort equals impact, okay? Whatever you do funneled into time creates an impact on something. Okay? So, we have a little legend over here. T is for time, E is for effort, I is for impact load, how much we're loading impact on something. So, because there can be an impact, but sometimes there's a certain amount of impact based on time and effort when those two variables change, how much time we put into something and effort. Because sometimes you can put a lot of time into something, but if there's not a lot of effort put into it, the impact isn't as great. So it's a multiplier. Those two things are multipliers of each other. Task load is J for job, right? The task load. How big is the task to completion, basically? The total value of J. X is aggregate magnitude of value. What is the whole magnitude of value? Okay? So what is this? What is, when we look at job, or we look at impact load affecting task load multiplied by completion, or percentage of task completion, by the magnitude of value, we're talking about the whole magnitude of the value, right? So the aggregate magnitude. What is the whole, the holistic value is what we're talking about there. V is the auxiliary effects and value of task completion. So when something gets completed, not just what does that one thing do, but all the things it affects, because there's a rippling effect. You can complete a project or a task sometimes, and that one thing isn't done. It actually has an exponential effect across other things, or you're affecting other things too. So the auxiliary effect and value of task completion is V. What's the total value, basically? That includes auxiliary effects. And then C is percentage of task completion. So when we look at the equation, if I, or our impact load, is greater than or equal to the task load multiplied by percentage of task completion, so how much of that task load is completed, whether it's 100% or 50%, will change that value, multiplied by magnitude of value, the aggregate magnitude of value, will be equal to the auxiliary effects and value of task completion multiplied by the aggregate magnitude of value. Okay? So the key deciders in working smarter, not harder, are identifying magnitude of value, X is the same on both sides, and then auxiliary effects and value of task completion. That's the total value of completing the task, okay? And whether or not we complete the whole task, the percentage. And if I is greater than or equal to get to the value effect and the magnitude. So maximum value targets with highest V and X are good targets, okay? So this is a crucial time management formula, because we can determine if we have task loads completed at 100% with maximum aggregate magnitude of value, the resulting auxiliary effects of value and task completion are multiplied by that magnitude, okay? So it's a common thing. You'll hear other people talk about it, the domino being pushed over, and there's some entrepreneurs that talk about pushing over the biggest domino to have the maximum aggregate effect. So picking the highest value target and then having the highest impact with time and effort, high amounts of time and high amounts of effort, can have a net effect of knocking down lots of other dominoes. So being strategic about picking those things and then hammering them creates extra time, actually, because picking low value targets and picking low value aggregate magnitudes. So you could pick a high value target, maybe like we could pick, there's a lot of auxiliary effects and value maybe of a task completion, but maybe the magnitude is very small. Like maybe you could do something that could affect a whole bunch of other little things, but that magnitude's so low, it doesn't have a high magnitude, then it doesn't matter as much. Because you could have a greater than effect with impact load. So if your impact load with time and energy is very high and you focus it into something with a low magnitude of, auxiliary effect and value of completion, but that magnitude is low, you've wasted a lot of time and energy. Okay, because you've funneled so much time and energy into something. Adversely, if you funnel all that time and energy into something that's maybe equal to a high level of magnitude of completion, would result in really great auxiliary effects and value of task completion at a high aggregate magnitude of value. Okay? So I hope that makes sense.